Hi, I'm Minki Kim. I'm so excited to show you how to make my Flying Geese Pouch Trio. The pouch trio comes big size, medium, and small. And you can also make with one print, which is in my Serendipity 2. So you can either Flying Geese or just one print anyway. Either way works fine. Let's get started. This pattern comes with 3 sizes. Today, I'm gonna make the biggest size. If this quilt as you go method is new to you, I recommend to start big one first. And then you kind of know the method and try practice with the medium and small the last. Because the small pouch use the smallest triangle, so it must be a little tricky. So let's practice with the big triangle. You need the fabric for the big triangle and then small triangle and the exterior panel fabric. Cut your squares as the size on the cutting direction and make sure you cut everything accurately. That makes you the successful flying geese. Okay, so I just cut 2 to show you how. And then with your ruler, you cut the fabric diagonally to make 2 triangles. So now you have this with the same manner. The most important thing is your square should be exact size on the pattern. Okay. And then diagonally cut the small triangles. So your triangles are ready. Get the foam. My tip is, if this is your first time, I recommend practice with your cotton batting, because cotton batting is a little thinner than foam, so it must be easier. And then do not cut your triangle with your favorite pretty fabric. Cut with the other fabric and practice a little bit, and then actually start sewing. Okay, that is a big tip you should try if it is really new to me, new to this project, this quilt as you go method. So what I do is it's basically same as foundation piecing, paper piecing. I don't exactly know the name. So what I came up with, you draw on the foam. Draw the center line, guideline, and draw the line as the pattern says, and bottom 2. So this is kind of your paper base, but I use a foam and sew directly, so I cut all the steps. So take the big triangle and aligning the bottom guideline, align like this on the center. Make sure it's on the center. It should look like this. And take your small triangle. This long edge should meet here with the right side together. It should do like this. So this is very important. The first raw should be accurate. Otherwise, you're gonna shift more and more, and your triangle won't look as pretty as you wish. So make sure take your time. Everything is in place. Double check. Okay, and then go to the sewing machine. Okay, from here, what we are going to do is just sew along this line. So I use 1/4 inch seam. And then, this is a foam, right? It's kind of a, I don't know what's the exact word. It's not stay as you wished because it's not cotton batting or paper. So make sure put this triangle, 2 pieces of triangle, stay on the foam. So I press with the finger like this, so it doesn't shift at all. It should stay on the guideline. Okay, that's the important thing. And start sewing like this. You know, you can see my 2 fingers is holding this. It's not shifting anything, right? Just to keep sewing until you end. Okay, you are done, and cut. And then bring this triangle to go, and it should meet like this. Isn't it nice? With your finger, press, or you can use a folding pen, clover folding pen. A little dot, apply, and then fold. Whatever method is okay. I will just use the finger press. Okay, and then next, take another small triangle. This long edge should go here. And make sure everything all aligned. So this is the part I want you to take time, make double check before you sewing. Okay, go. Again, when you sew with your finger, press it so they don't move or shift. Okay, here too. And then with 1/4 inch seam, then you will kind of know from here to end, it will meet like this, slowly. And then you see, with your finger, hold it. With your finger, hold it. They don't shift or moving anything. That's very important, okay? Hold it, and then go. Go, 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 go. And then you stop here, right? Okay, and then press. Now it goes here. Now then you are done. If it meets the guideline, you did correct. If not, you should do it again, okay? Because your base is very important. If your base is not like this, then you're building up flying geese won't be as pretty as you liked, okay? Let's do the second one, okay, with the same step. Take the big triangle with the right side down, put on with the raw edges, matching it. So this pointy part should be pointy out, but even way. Do not do like this or this, okay? Should be the all same. Like this and this be all the same. That way you put, and this, the point is not on the center, so I put it here, okay? And again, keep pressing with your palm. I don't use iron, then it will erase the line. You can use the water-soluble pen, but I haven't tried, so I don't know how it works. So just do what I do. Okay, always press with your palm, so they'll stay together. Okay, this is the part you know where this point, and this is, I can tell it is 1/4 inch seam. That means your seam allowance is 1/4 inch. Okay. Okay, let's see if I did it all right, correct. Okay, good. I was nervous if it didn't meet well in front of a camera. Okay, all did well. Okay, it's all well. Next, take the another flying geese. Make sure it aligned, and this part should be the same way. You don't want a little bit No, no, no. It have to be accurate, like this, okay? So, and then make sure it's just stay on the palm, on the foam. Go, and again, press with your hand so it doesn't move. And using a 1/4 inch seam, stay. And then do it again. So let's see. If it's a little bit, I would push a little bit like this, okay? So now it's on the guideline. Let's just try the second one. And as you see, I always hold like this because this is a foam. It doesn't stay like a cotton bedding we use. So put like this. Okay, and then attach the second one, make sure they are kind of always even. And this one always kind of even. That is the key of making the successful flying geese. Okay, it is kind of showing because if I do it, I don't like how it does not centered. Okay. And then try. Good. Okay. Another tip. If it goes too far, then I would pull in a little bit inside, like this. Okay. Like this. So the edges stay in the line, the guideline we draw in the beginning. And then let's do the second one and another one. You keep doing the same thing. So as long as you pay attention, your flying geese will look great. We are done. We are done. So, okay, if you see this part is a little moved, do not worry because the guideline is no longer important once we finish the flying geese. Now we press it nicely, erase everything. Okay. How pretty it is. Okay. And then the next time you take the square with this fabric, with the right side down, stitch on here. Make sure make it on the center, place on the center. And then press. Now we want to press each time. Okay. And then you need another 2 strips to stitch all on the other side. I have this piece. Once you stitch, and once stitch this strip, this stitch it, I will move this away. It will look like this. And then you just stitch it on this way, okay? And then on the back side, I put the lining, and then make a quilt sandwich, and then quilt with the same thread. Then it will look like this. And in the pattern, there's the template. So trace the template, and then make sure before you cut anything, baste the stitch all the way around with the 1/8 inch seam. After you're done, you cut out the shape, cut out along the traced line, like this, or use your scissor. The very important thing I forgot to tell you, when you trace the template, make sure you have the room here because you don't want to cut this pointy part when we make pouch. So make sure put your template on top of here, on top of the what do you call what on top of the seam allowance. So that is the key. You should have at least 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch seam to be safe. That's the important part. Then I will cut like this. So showing a little bearing doesn't matter, okay? The most important thing you have to remember is save this pointy part. And you need to have enough seam allowance to sew. So this is the one panel you finish it. You repeat the same step, make 2 for the back side of a pouch. Okay, I will show how I attach the binding. Make sure your binding is a bias cut. Bias cut means you put the fabric and then cut the 45-degree angle. That is like a stretchy. That's what you want because this is a curved line. And then I use a double binding, which means you fold the binding in half and use that. This is 2 layers of a binding. Okay. So put the binding here. Okay, we're gonna stitch all the way around. Before you attach the binding, I wanted a cute little label. You can order at Riley Blake or in my shop. Okay, it is 2-sided somewhere here. Okay, so attach the label first. Okay. Because this is gonna be bottom, it will show like this. So you don't wanna put your label too low. Okay, now we are ready to put the binding. Now we are done. I always check if I'm happy with my binding. Now I'm very, very happy. Okay. So we repeat the same step. So we have 2 panels. And then what we're gonna do is fold the binding, press the binding this way first. Okay. And then fold the okay, and we need glue. Here is glue. This is a temporary fabric glue and washable, so it doesn't gum your needle. I tried the school glue, but it honestly didn't work well for me. So use a little dots. Only the seam allowance. And then with the with your iron, press. And when you press, make sure it covers your stitch line because we're gonna stitch in the ditch. This means you stitch right the stitch line. I use all the fancy word that I learned from other people. So thank you for teaching me, guys. So we are done with the binding. Okay, we are done with the binding. Just cut a little bit extra binding. And then I usually assemble and then attach the zipper, but it's okay to assemble the zipper first and then do the second panel. So I will show how I do. Take any matching or contrasting. What should I do? I wish I can talk to you guys so I can listen what's your opinion. I would like this one. Okay. So I will put this is why I recommend to use longer zipper that is more easy to play with. So start from somewhere here, okay, and then zipper will be like this. Oh, it's too much. Okay. Like this. This is a 30-inch double slide zipper, which is available in my shop. Okay, go to the sewing machine. Okay. Stitch in the ditch. I stitch right under the binding. Why I do? The reason is I want it looks like hand stitched. So that's why I don't want any stitches showing. But if you are not familiar, then you can top stitch on the binding. Okay, but I will show how I do. Take your time, because it touches bias binding, then you have to unpick and do it again. So take time. Now we finished attaching the zipper, and let's check if all the binding is catched. If not, you go to sewing machine and do it again. And my tip is, when you use the colorful zipper, make sure your bobbin thread is the same as your zipper tape. Otherwise, your bobbin thread will pop up too much, and then you don't want like a red zipper with the white thread showing. You don't like that. So mine is kind of blended in, so it is okay. So you repeat the same step and then make two. This is a one, and then you want to make the second one. And then we assemble. Let's say we put the same thing on here with the right side down together. And then with the binding strip, okay, let's just say if it is right side together, it will look like this, right? And then put the binding here and stitch. That way we can assemble two panels together, okay? And then close the binding. Then once you closed, it will look like this, okay? And then you just sew the both ends to shape it. It will look like this is how the inside of the pouch panel. And I also attached the label that I made this year. I have to use up this made in 2025 label quickly before next year start. So this is how the inside will look like once you all assembled together. And okay, I will put the parts back in. And also you can use different fabric. You see, this is different side. So it is you have a more option, more fun. And you can close inside. Another option is you open wide. You can add a gusset here, so inside the thing doesn't falling out. It's another option, you can do it. It's optional, you don't have to, okay? And then my Serendipity 2 has the exact same size of a pouch. I named the Serendipity pouch, which once you cut along the line and then quilt with the lining and cut, it will look like this. Okay, so this pouch panel save you a lot of time doing the the assembling because it's all in one panel, and I attach the label, cotton label. I attach the cotton labels, and also attach these labels. And then the process is the same: binding, attach the zipper, and then assemble, and here. Then it will look like this. How fun it is. So today we learn how to do my quilt as you go flying geese. Or you can use just one print to make this shape. Either way, I hope you enjoy all the process. Thank you for watching. You can find me, Zeriano, for my Instagram, and my shop is sewingillustration.com. Hope you enjoyed and my tip was helpful. Thank you.